comes back onto the field now, trying to put something together in the remaining 14 seconds in a 10-10 ball game. Denver 0-2, Chicago 1-1. Denver playing in dreadful luck so far. And Landry puts it up, and it is incomplete. Tremaine Johnson turning to the sidelines in between the defenders. His feet went out from under him, and down he went in the heap.
Number 58, John Bearfield, the outside linebacker, had a chance to really go up and get this ball. He was just a little bit too far away from him, and had he had better footing, he could have took a couple of steps and made a play on that pass. But because of the snow, he just couldn't get there. As you see, Greg Landry has completed 50% of his passes for 1 touchdown, and that's having a pretty good day under these conditions.
Oh, my goodness. He throws it out to Tim Spencer, and poor Tim turning to look back for the ball. There's no chance. He just, as he turned, his feet went straight up in the air. And you've got 3 seconds, one more play to go in the first half. I'm sure at halftime they'll get the snowplow out there and try to scrape it off as best they can, but it is the snow just coming down in waves.
That last play will provide a few chuckles on film day next week.
Yeah. This is also the kind of conditions, though, and the kind of game where you're really sore. Johnson going down the left side. Landry's going the other way with it. Lenny Willis, and it is intercepted. Picked off by David Dumars. And down he goes. The first for him this year, and time has run out. And so the first half is over, and it was unseemly at times because of the weather conditions. And they're not even off the field into the warmth of the clubhouse until Red Miller and his staff start talking about what they're going to do to start the second half. And the snowplows are out. We'll be ready for halftime after this message and the word. We're going to
for Chicago. 42 yards to Lenny Willis for this touchdown. That made it 10-0 Chicago. However, on the last play of the first quarter, Brian Spielman kicks this 39-yard field goal, and as you can see, he falls down. The slippery footing, he was still able to kick it through into a 20-mile-per-hour wind. That made it 10-3. Blitz at the end of the first period. Then after a Chicago turnover early in the second quarter on the very next play, it was Harry Sidney from Kansas taking it around the right side, eluding one tackler, moving down the sideline and in for the score. And thus at the half at Soldier Field, it is Denver 10 and Chicago 10. So it's closed there, but not so close at New Jersey. East Rutherford, Giants Stadium, good crowd looking on, but it's been all Tampa Bay. Early on, it was John Reeves with a 3-yard touchdown pass to Greg Boone. That made the score 11-0. The Bandits going for 2 on the conversion and making it. And then Reeves striking again with 2:30 to play in the first half. 25 yards to Eric Trevelyan. It is 18-3 as Dave Jacobs kicked a 30-yard field goal at the half. Herschel Walker has carried the ball 14 times for just 29 yards. He's caught 2 passes for 11 yards. Meanwhile, Nickerson Field, tiny, just 21,000 capacity. Good crowd looking on a very pleasant day. In Boston, the score was tied 3-3 early in the second period. Tim Mazzetti kicking this field goal from 47 yards to make it Breakers 6, Federals 3. Washington coming in after 2 very bad performances, 0-2, but getting this touchdown just moments ago. Kim McQuilkin, a great catch by Joey Walters, who caught 105 passes last year for his.
Spencer, most of the plays designed for him to run the ball are going off to the outside. And there are a lot of pitches and a lot of tosses. And again, when you have this kind of weather and you've got to pitch the ball back, you've got problems.
I think it's one of the noblest achievement of the first half was that 39-yard field goal that Brian Spielman kicked into the wind.
It was, and it was a low kick. Had that kick been a little higher, I don't think it would have made it.
No way.
And if he hadn't slipped, again, if he had not slipped, I think he probably would have got it up a little bit higher.
All things considered, it worked out for him, and we're all even. 10 for Chicago, 10 for Denver. The Gold will kick it off. And the Denver Gold now will have the ball going from left to right, so that means they have the win in the third quarter. Chicago will have the win in the fourth quarter. So tuck that away. That's very likely going to have some meaning. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Denver better get some points on the scoreboard, and better get more than 7 in the third quarter.
They're going to have to take advantage of this win being at their back in the third quarter.
Lenny Willis. Let it go, and he will. There'll be no return. It'll be first down for Chicago out of the 20. So Chicago now will open up, I presume, with the same people. Spencer and Long set behind Greg Landrew with Johnson, Buggs, and Ricker. Ricker has not seen the ball today. Taylor, Stevenson, Pursuit, Norman, and I are the big guys up front. And it's first down, Chicago from the 20. Chicago 1-1 on the year, and Denver trying to win its first. And Denver sets up with a 5-man front. Into the line goes Tim Spencer, his 4th carry of the ball game. He gets a couple of yards, and Calvin Turner out of West Virginia, number 99, makes the tackle. Defensive unit, you can see Turner plays the defensive end position along with Larry White. Lavelle Short, who had one big play for Denver in that first half, sacking the quarterback. Bearfield, Choate, Whittingham, and Gherkin. Choate had 10 tackles in that first half. Lewis, Dumars, Haar, and Martin, the secondary. It is second down. They need about 8. Ball is given off again to Spencer, and Spencer's up across the 25 and tumbles into the snowbank at the 26. And riding him out of there, Greg Gherkin and Will Lewis.
Greg Gherkin on the tackle, moving the ball to about the...
They've got that defensive line and linebackers up on the ball, up on the line of scrimmage, trying to take control, realizing the ball isn't going to go in the air, very much. And they want to get in, stop that running game cold, keep from getting to the outside and breaking the big run.
Well, it's third down and a short 4 now for Chicago. And they've got it. Big gain. Cam Spencer, who saw the ball only 3 times in the first half for 1 yard, comes out here getting it for 3 successive plays to start the second half, and David Martin saved the touchdown for Denver.
Well, I think that defensive line, even though they were expecting the run, were not very successful. As you see them, they just get blown away there. Big hole opens up for him as he just gets downfield, drags number 34 for a couple of yards there. Oh, I'm getting colder just watching them.
Oh boy, well, it's snowing up here in the booth. First time I've got a ball game with the snow coming in. It's just blowing, so it's just coming from everywhere. Out to Trumaine Johnson. And Johnson losing his footing and goes tumbling down. Let's see, where is he in relation to the first down markers?
In the first game that the Chicago team played in, Trumaine took a pass just like this and went downfield, got into the end zone where he fumbled the ball, but it was recovered by a teammate. Here, on this play, you need the footing. You need the footing because you're going to make a lot of quick moves to get away. You need that fast start, and he just wasn't able to do it then.
Third down, 3 catches for 25 yards. And it is second down and 6. He picked up 4 there. Here's Spencer again. And Spencer over the left side, running behind Rob Taylor and Mark Stevenson. Larry White out of Jackson State making the tackle. They've got him just short of the first down. So it'll be third down and short. The wind chill factor, 6 degrees. I mean, it's not minus. 32 Fahrenheit. Snow depth, at least 3 inches, I'd say. Airport closed.
Watch the play action.
What else bad can I tell you? It's tied at 10-10. Swanee's feet are frostbitten. Denver almost jumped. Give that ball to Long, and they stack him up. It'll be close. They're going to mark him, I believe, down at the 45. And if they do, that'll be a first down. Looks like a first down to me.
I think it is a first down. His forward progress did take him up to about the 45, so it'll be a first down by a yard.
Chicago getting the opening kickoff to start the second half, working into the wind. Denver has not had an opportunity with the ball. And Chicago, as far as possession, first downs, and total yardage, dominant in the ball game, but they're even on the scoreboard where it counts. That's Kevin Long. A little skipped to the right, cleared him of one tackle, and he was able to move on down. Number 75, Rob Taylor, really threw a strong block to get him out of there. John Bearfield made the tackle. Actually, one of the moments for the Denver Gold, they had a chance, had the ball on a punt, a fumbled punt, remember, and had an ineligible man downfield and got penalized for it. Had to go back and redo it, and Chicago was able to handle the ball. Otherwise, we might have a little different story. Landry turns and hands the ball off. And Kevin Long now just slowly creeping it downfield. With 10 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the third quarter. I'm looking forward to spring football.
This is spring football.
If and when we ever get it. It's really not a bitter cold. It's 32 degrees. It's cold enough, isn't it? A 10-10 tie. And Chicago on third down and 3. Landry back to pass, almost falls down, throws incomplete, losing his footing as he let the ball go. And did we get a flag? Landry was knocked down. We're going to get a roughing the passer call against Denver. Oh, my goodness. Laval Short came in. That's worth another look. Now, there's no way in the world you can stop. Let's see what he does when he makes contact. Could he have avoided the quarterback?
Well, you see Landry, he's just trying to drop back, and he's slipping. All right, slipping on the bad surface. Now, he throws the ball here, gets it away, and right there, they're up. It's, you know,
personal foul. Number 91 on the defense, roughing the passer.
It wasn't Short.
First down.
Bill Parkinson defines it. It was 91.
Larry White.
Larry White. If he had pulled his arms away, I think incidental contact would not have applied. But 15-yard penalty, and downfield they go.
He also jumped up in the air.
Yeah, jumped on him, yeah. Here's the pass to the sidelines, and Trumaine Johnson cannot get his hands on it. Looped it out there. And you just, I know Greg Landry's got a strong arm, and I know he's a well-preserved 14-year veteran in football and all those things, but there's no way you can throw that ball sideways across the field with the way that wind is blowing. Greg is now 6 out of 14 for 81 yards. Been picked off one time, and he is passed for a touchdown.
All those passes have also gone in the direction of Trumaine Johnson. Wayman Buggs has not seen any action so far.
Right. Rickert, the tight end, who led the club in scoring, has not seen the ball as yet today either. That's Tim Spencer carrying over the left side behind Stevenson and Taylor. And Putt Choate again puts his helmet in the crowd and gets credit for the tackle. And there's a fairly decent gain out of that.
When I say Wayman Buggs hasn't seen much action, he's color passed here in the ballgame thus far, but certainly hasn't been utilized as much as Trumaine Johnson. No. And in the first game, Trumaine Johnson had turned in a remarkable performance, but the second game, it was Wayman Buggs who was being utilized because Trumaine was double covered.
Third down and 4. Down about, looks like the 18. They're going to stay on the ground, and a good play by Larry White, looping in from his defensive end position, catches Tim Spencer, trips him up short of the first down. So it'll bring up 4th down. So Larry comes up with a big defensive play, atoning somewhat for the flag he drew on roughing the quarterback. That gave Chicago a first down.
Weather like this, when you make a diving stab at a running back's ankles just to try and trip him up, can be very successful. Dry field, of course, the running back just steps away from that without even thinking about it.
All right, John Rivetto now has kicked a 27-yard field goal. Did that back in the first quarter, but he did it with the wind. Now, we saw Spielman hit one from 39 yards. Rivetto is going to try one from 31 yards into the wind. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is smothered. never got it past the line of scrimmage. It just went right down into the stack. And so Ravetto, who with the Bears heard a lot of boos, and John's going to go off saying, wait a minute, hold it. What have I done to get in this fix? We remain tied at 10 field goal, Lynn.
No, he gets the ball. He's placed down on the tee, and he just doesn't get under the ball at all. Just kicks it right on top, no height, and it just goes into that melee of blockers down in front of him. As we see the cheerleaders here have put on something a little warmer to cover the bottom half.
I don't know. Yeah, let's see. It's first down, and I'm trying to figure out where it is. Looks like about the 17 of Denver. Ken Johnson turns. Handoff is in the middle for Larry Canada. And Denver getting the ball for the first time in the third quarter now with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to play. So Chicago had the ball for a long time and came away empty in the 10-10 tie. Stan White, linebacker, whacking in there to make the tackle. Now we are told, and I'm passing along second-hand information to you folks, now we're told that the Chicago airport is not closed, that it is open. I don't see how, but they say it is open. So those of you who have been calling about it, they apparently say that it is open, and it looked for a moment like the ball might have come loose in there, but I guess not. Harry Sidney, number 24, carrying. Harry is out of Kansas, 6'1" and 218 pounds. With a loss on the play of about a yard or so. It'll be third down, then about 8 yards to go. I don't believe this. 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Long count, obvious check off, and time expired. Time ran out on him. Ken was trying to change his play as he looked into the defense, and the blitz moving around, and as a result of the check off and everything, one of his own people inside moved, and it's an illegal procedure call.
What he saw was a lot of people up in the line of scrimmage. He saw bump and run coverage over his wide receivers and two safeties back deep. And I don't know what he had planned to check off. Check off two. Certainly, I don't think he would have thrown the ball. He hasn't shown desire to throw the ball that much.
Number 65 on the offense. Third down.
So probably looking for a run that would take advantage of that defensive line play.
It was Glenn Hyde who moved. Denver's been flagged 4 times for 29 yards. Chicago 1 time for 10. That's Sammy Green in motion. The pitch out goes to Sidney, and Harry wheels it around the corner, stays on his feet, and keeps on scrambling. And he almost popped out of there. He got sort of tangled up with Fonhorse 55 and Schwartz 28 and one of his own men. And they stop him just short of the first down. So Denver will kick it.
Well, he's having a fine game, and it's fortunate for Denver, too, that Harry Sidney is playing so well with Miller having suffered a concussion. And this kind of weather, coming back after only 1 week off, it's not really good for him. Cold weather doesn't help that particular injury get better, so if they can get a good game out of him, they'll be very happy.
Courts just gets it off and gets a fine punt away. The wind carries it well downfield, and that's going to be considerable before it finally stops rolling. Marcus Anderson almost blocked it for Chicago, but they got it out of there. Now you've got 6 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the third quarter. Chicago going into the wind. From the Denver point of things now, the Denver defense has got to stop Chicago here to give the Denver offense a chance to do something with the win. Because I don't see how in the world you're going to win a ball game going into the weather.
One of the things Denver hasn't had much of in this ball game is field position.
That's right.
They lost it at the opening kickoff when they fumbled it around and they didn't get a great punt off. And they haven't had it here so far in this ball game. If their defense can stop them, and their defense is capable of doing it, then they have some good field position and chance to work.
57 yards on the punt, including the roll.
That wind blew that ball when it hit the ground.
It did.
A good 10 yards.
The ball, I think, under ordinary circumstances, on even a dry rug, the ball would have been at least 10 yards farther upfield, but it just kept on rolling, 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 and rolling. And now here's a penalty being assessed against the Denver goal.
And it's a big one.
Bill Parkinson will define it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench. First down.
Whoops. Whoops.
I think it's against Red Miller for unsportsmanlike conduct. I think Miller felt a flag should have been thrown on the punt for roughing the kicker.
Roughing the kicker. Well, I can see his complaint. I mean, Gortz had his leg down, but watch it here. It's close.
He doesn't touch the ball, and he comes right across his leg and hits his leg and knocks him down. Nice job of acting, too.
Well, he did hit the leg.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he did. We'll see as we go into commercial here. You'll see whether or not he actually makes contact with the leg. We've got 6 minutes and 18 seconds to play now. After the unsportsmanlike conduct call, the ball is up around the 30. Oh boy, 33 maybe. I can see why Red Miller was complaining on that.
So can I.
He had good reason. One of those very close things. Ball's loose, and Landry dives for it and gets back to it. He tried to give it to Kevin Long, but the conditions are so slippery now that if you get going, that's it. You're not going to change quickly.
Well, frankly, what happened here, he just got his hand stuck inside of this handoff. It's still there, and he just pulls the ball away from him.
So the Blitz have a sigh of relief here on second down and 10. From about the 33. And there's the handoff inside to Spencer. And Tim hanging on is brought down by Larry White. On ABC's Wide World of Sports coming up next, we'll have highlights from the welterweight fight of Don Curry and Huang. We'll have some NCAA wrestling. And we have a feature on Mark Breland, who is the 147-pound amateur boxer who won the World Amateur Championship over in Munich last year. Most entertaining young man. He also played a major role in the motion picture The Lords of Discipline. The Atlanta automobile race today rained out. We have some inclement weather down in Atlanta. Here's Landry back to throw it. On third down. Gets away from one. Goes over the middle. It is incomplete. Knocking it loose. Greg Gherkin, number 50. And intended for, I think it was Trumaine Johnson. So it's fourth down. Denver will get the football back, and they have a chance at decent field position.
It was good pressure by the Denver defense here. As you see, Trumaine gets jammed there at the line of scrimmage, and he's just floating around back there inside that zone as Landry is scrambling. There, the ball is just tipped away from him, and he can't make a play. Excellent play by the linebackers on that.
Garcia's into punt now. 26, 37, 27, and a fumble the first time with David Martin deep to receive it. Kicking it into the wind, into the snow. There's a penalty flag. Now Denver gets flagged for knocking the kicker down. Oh, that'll get red jumping up and down again, won't it? Denver's flagged for roughing a kicker. John Bungartz out of Cal State Fullerton runs over Garcia, and that'll get a first down for Chicago.
Well, Denver is just not having any luck here. First, what could have possibly been called a roughing the kicker wasn't called, and we said their defense had to hold him. Well, the defense did a good job of holding him, with the exception of the 15-yard penalty assessed to Red Miller.
Personal foul. Running into the kicker, number 56. First down.
Then after holding them, Chicago punts, and they get the roughing the kicker penalty called against them. So it's not a good day in that area.
They just sort of ran over Garcia. I mean, if they'd have bumped him, that's one thing. But they didn't bump him, they buried him. Oh, well, like you said, no luck. Here comes Spencer trying to get outside, and does get outside for about 3 yards, maybe 4, before Will Lewis brings him down. And here's New York now for an update.
Well, Red probably...
All right, Keith, in Boston, it is 10-9 in favor of the Washington Federals. The Breakers were driving just moments ago. John Walton went back to pass, had this drive stymied by an interception by number 36, Jeff Brown. Early third quarter, still 10-9 in favor of the Federals. Back to Keith Jackson at Soldier Field.
Back here in Chicago, it is still 10-10 with 4:25 to go in the third quarter. Tim Spencer just carrying the ball, gets another first down. And Spencer in the first half had 1 yard with Kevin Long picking up 70. Here in the third quarter, Long has run for 9 yards. Spencer's been the busier, getting 49. Well, we went in the clubhouse and Kevin said, wait a minute. What's this other big guy? He's younger than I am. Give him the ball, son. Yeah, that's a broken play. As Landry turned to give it to somebody, everybody was gone, so he pulls it down and will take a loss of about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Looked like Long might have, somebody went the wrong way. I don't want to put the blame on Kevin, but somebody did.
Well, both backs are going there to the right, and I think what happened was Landry should have just pivoted to his right, and he would have been right there for the handoff. Instead, he went to his left and said, whoops, there's nobody here.
Of course, I'm assuming the quarterback never makes a mistake, right?
Well, then we are assuming incorrectly.
3:20 to go in the third quarter. That handoff works, but pounding in there is number 60, George Ataye from Louisiana State. Ataye making the tackle. Ataye. Remember him as a Bayou Bengal in Baton Rouge. Good football player. Again, to correct some bad information that I passed on to you about the airport being closed, I am again told that it is open for a fact. Or it is with some wonder. Third down. They're 7 out of 15 doing it. Give it to Spencer, and he doesn't get it. So again, it is fourth down, and once again, Chicago's going to have to punt it. And again, Denver will have one more chance with the football with 2 minutes and 25 seconds and the wind at their back. I keep stressing that because it's going to eventually mean the difference in this ball game, I think.
I believe so, especially if it's going to come down to a field goal to break the tie or to win the ball game. If you've got the wind at your back, you've got a little bit more of an advantage for that ball to carry. And certainly if Denver has a chance to win the ball game, they've got to kick into that wind, and you can't always get those 39-yarders into the wind.
There's no pressure on Garcia, and he just got all of it. He hit it just about as well as you could hit it here in snowbound Chicago with 1 minute and 52 seconds to play in the third quarter. A very important 1 minute and 52 seconds to play for Denver because of the wind factor. Wind at their back. So here comes the goal. And we welcome those of you who have been watching New Jersey and Tampa Bay. Welcome to spring in Chicago. We've got about 3 inches of snow, maybe 4 on the ground by now. Ball is given off as Denver tries to get something going at its own 14-yard line. Larry Canada. And Canada can get virtual, and in fact didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. It lost about 2 yards. So 10-10 tie with 1.5 minutes to play in the third.